Myron's done some magic.
Wait, somebody told me at the end of all of this that Andrew Tate is actually American? Is that true? So he's got like a South African / British accent / lives in Eastern Europe / like, but he's actually American? Is that true or is it not? He's half? He's from Chicago? Where is he actually from? Where was he born? He's half American, half British. You don't get to be half and half. It's one or the other. He moved to the UK in middle school.
Magical things here, so we have to make
Man,
sure.
it must be a really bright room for all these guys to be wearing sunglasses inside. What's happening?
We're live everywhere.
I'm trying.
Turn the lights down.
We're live on Rumble too? We're lit, man. Yeah, hey, that's what it's about. We made it happen somehow.
Shit. We did it, guys. We all work hard on this.
Yeah, sorry guys for being late. Since we added Sneako to the panel, I had to go ahead and switch up the whole audio situation. So sorry for the delay. It's on me.
Welcome back, Andrew.
Yeah, man. Thank you. It's good to be back. And I look forward to the chat asking us some questions. We've got a big panel here. I've got some questions to ask you all. I thought, if I'm going to have my good friends here on the show, and let me ask them some difficult questions. Ooh. You have to answer. You can't not answer.
Oh,
you have to tell the truth.
What's the caveat if you don't answer?
God, what if he asks the question that I did? He's like, I saw you talk to this Destiny guy, and he said, how much money for you to suck a dick?
What's the
Are we about to play Would You Rather?
Something kind of, but that's a bit high school, drinking gay. This is more just answer the fucking question.
Okay.
Are you trying to say that we don't act immature from time to time?
I don't know about you, bro, but me, I'm top G. I'm always, focused.
You want to tell us that story?
Home. He knew it wasn't coming home. He lost 10 G's just for no reason.
Yeah.
Because we had fun. We're degenerate.
Yeah, we're degenerate. We were drinking. We were running around. And this is before I was as famous as I am now. I couldn't even walk the streets like then. Like I was back then. But yeah, I bet $10,000 for England to win. And of course, like they lost in penalties like they always do. So it's never coming home. England is never coming home. I'm sorry. It's actually a shame when you talk about England because now the Queen's died. I feel like all the good things about England have died with her.
Oh shit!
Not to be like pessimistic and sad on this stream, but all the beautiful things about England and all the things about the royal family and tradition, etc., is all gone along with it.
You really sad about the Queen dying?
100%, bro.
You don't think the kids and like fucking each other's cousins?
Oh my God, bro.
You don't think the Queen was an OG?
No, Sneako's gone off way more like on the conspiracy side, I think, than like where Tate is. That's gonna be my guess. Fuck. I would actually, you know what I would love to do? I don't think I can do this. I don't think they would be up for it. I would fly to Romania for this. If I could do an interview with Sneako and Andrew Tate and ask them both questions and make them talk to each other. Because I think in a way, now I am reading really hard into this and I don't know enough and I could be really wrong because I haven't watched enough of Andrew Tate's stuff. But in a way, Andrew Tate might be marketing red pill stuff that I think is kind of okay, but people like Sneako are the result of reading it the wrong way. And it would be really interesting to force them to both reconcile their differences of opinions, where it's like, okay, Tate, you say things like this, and people like me say that when you say stuff like that, people are going to take it like this, and now here's Sneako that believes this thing because he's heard you say that, like, hash it out. That would be super interesting to see. Oh my God, it would be so crazy. Not even for like a ownage like debate, but it'd be really cool to see like their two perspectives clash.
Yo,
I guess.
I will say this: London was a great time, but I never want to live there, bro.
You know what? Maybe I'm naive. I know what Sneako's saying, but maybe I'm naive. But I think that a lot of the true degeneracy that you see in the world is semi-modern, and I don't think that Queen Elizabeth, who was alive and driving trucks during World War II.
Yeah.
Bro.
Damn.
During World War II, she was driving trucks.
Insane.
She was in the army in World War II, and she's been through all this shit since the 30s. I don't think she didn't love her country. And I don't think that the world and the whole Commonwealth, because England was in charge of the Commonwealth, the whole Commonwealth wasn't unified behind her. And I think that the royal family's lost its prestige. Now she's died. Nobody gives a fuck about Charles. It's over now. And the world we live in now, a lot of the problems with the world is because we're losing our traditions and we're losing our older ways of thinking. And I'm not saying that the elites, you know what I think about the elites, you know what I think. And I know you can lump the royal family in there with them. I get it. But having a monarch for 70 or 80 years who was there during the war, and she's been there the whole time, and she was in charge of not just England, the entire Commonwealth, Canada, New Zealand, Australia, African countries, all this shit, India. She's a G. You can't say she's not a G. Queen Elizabeth II, she's a G.
OG.
You can't say she's a G.
He said OG. Sneako, this is your time to fight.
Definitely old.
She's an OG.
She's an OG, and now she's gone, and they're replacing her with this new guy. And I think a lot of the problems with the world today are all because of all the new think and the new things they're trying to replace things with. All the old traditional ways. We sit here and we all talk about masculinity. That's an old idea. And they're replacing it with a new idea. And what's the new idea? Trash. So when they get rid of the longest reigning monarch and they said they're going to replace it with fucking some new dude, to me that's bad news. That's my personal view anyway. Right.
She probably ate some kids though.
Well, I don't know.
She ate one baby.
Andrew,
You think so?
If
Andrew,
that happened, we
question.
wouldn't have no idea.
Diana, did she do it?
Ooh.
Well,
Should I be asking this question?
you can ask. I mean,
Do you think she did it?
did Queen Elizabeth?
She is a G.
She is a G. Sometimes as a G, you got to get the talons out. I don't know. I don't know if she did it. All I know is that
I didn't even know this is a
think that
conspiracy theory. People think Queen Elizabeth killed
it's not
Princess
think. Let me
Diana.
correct my speech. I know that England at one point was the largest and most fearsome empire on the planet. I actually think that it was the best empire in the world, not just because it was the largest, because I think it was genuinely the best to live under. In modern worlds, everyone, when she died, all the liberals were celebrating, saying she's a colonist.
That's like
et cetera, et
the
cetera.
internet
If you
consensus.
lived under the
Oh
British
shit, I had no
Empire,
idea. Okay.
you had a semi-good life. They turned up and they built roads and schools and monuments and built a railroad. And everyone's complaining about the British Empire. If you lived under the Japanese Empire, it was worse because they just chopped your head off for being a fucking peasant. They didn't build shit. Like, fuck you. Give me that. Oh, and pull out the katana. So at least the British built shit. So the British did good for the entire world as a whole. The world back then was different. I'm not saying colonization is a good thing. I'm saying that back then it was just empires. You were a part of an empire, one of them. That's how it worked. And she was the head of the Commonwealth for a very long time, and I was genuinely upset when the Queen died. Maybe it's the patriot in me, but I thought the Queen was a G.
Don't you think the natives deserve to celebrate her death?
Why would they?
The Native Americans, anybody who's suffered from colonization.
Did they? Well, this is a really interesting question
Uh-oh.
because you talk about suffering from colonization.
Or
If
did
you
they
look
do
at
better?
A lot of the. Do you think India? Let me ask you the question then. Do you think India suffered? Do you think India is in a worse place now than it would have been if it was never colonized by the British? Now, I'm not saying the British didn't kill people. I'm not saying they were completely fair, but also the world was a different place back then. Nowhere was fair. If the British didn't turn up to India in the 1800s, then the Indians would have been killing the Indians. People just killed each other. That's how it worked, right? Do you think India would be in a better place today if it was never colonized by the British?
I mean, they're pooping in the streets right now.
What would they be doing if they didn't? The British didn't turn up. I mean, if you look at some of the biggest, best buildings in most of these countries, or some of the most critical infrastructure, it's the shit the British built 200 years ago to this day. And they had their liberation for a very long time, and they haven't managed to surpass the infrastructure the British built. Do you want to talk about why that is? I mean, I'm sure there's reasons, but my point is, the British turned up to a country. They ruled India with less than fucking 60,000 men. The Indians could have kicked their ass any time, but they turned up and they gave genuine value to the point people thought, okay, these white people turned up on this boat. They know shit. Oh, whoa, railroad. Well, okay. Whoa, schools. They didn't do it purely by force. India is a big place. They did it with a very small contingent, and they did it by adding value. And yeah, the British were not people you want to fuck with, but they definitely added value to their colonies. And I know this is going to upset the whole fucking world. All the people are going to say I'm a colonist. This is a pretty diverse panel. I don't know.
Jesus. Algoman, thanks for the $100. Seemed like you're working pretty hard on the content front recently. What is your timeline to start the media company? That's like in a back seat. I'll be able to talk more about stuff tomorrow, okay?
Where I come in on the Brown scale, but it's a pretty.
I know where I come in.
Yeah. It's a pretty diverse panel, but the world was a dangerous place back then, and I think being under the British Empire afforded these countries a lot of security and safety and technological advancements, and I don't think it was all completely a bad thing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm from Barbados, so like we were colonized as well, but we got our independence as well. But Andrew, as a young man navigating the Matrix, where do you think somebody is to live nowadays in terms of like place to live? What's the best location you think possible for a guy to live in these times?
That's a good question. That's a hard one for me to answer, but I think that should be the first question to the panel. So let's go through one by one. Let's change the question slightly. When you're deciding where you want to live on the planet, what are you looking for?
Depends on how much money you have. If you're American, Miami's the move, or Puerto Rico. But if you have more money, if you have top G money, then Croatia, I think sounds good. Albania, Romania, obviously. But most
why?
people can't answer that question.
But why?
Everything you say about Eastern Europe, about the traditional values, about the lack of feminist indoctrination, about the West.
No offense, and I don't mean any offense by this, of course. But I don't think super wealthy people want to go and live in Eastern Europe. No, like, again, no offense, but like, what?
Weather is nice. Things are cheap. People are nice.
Girls are skinny.
Girls are skinny. We saw one, but there has not been one fat under 40 woman this whole time.
That's been the challenge of the whole week.
Trying to find one?
I challenged Myron and Sneako at the beginning of the week to find a girl under 40 that was fat.
Yeah, it's not a societal norm here. It's not accepted in the same way. So societal norms have a large part to play on how we act as a whole, which you can extrapolate to everything, right? The societal norm.
Do these people know
is
anybody in the
not be fat.
Balkans? Okay, I could be wrong, but well, I'm not wrong. When Americans, and it feels like when British people, or at least like people in this world, when they talk about Eastern Europe, it feels like they're talking about maybe the Baltics and then like Romania and Poland, and that's it. That is Eastern Europe. I don't think the Balkans count. I don't think they mean that when they say Eastern Europe, but that's literally what it feels like. It feels like they're talking about Poland and Romania, and maybe they would have Ukraine before the war. Poland and Romania, and then like maybe the Baltics. Nobody thinks about Germany. I don't think Germany counts as Eastern Europe, does it? Greece? Wait, I don't think Greece counts as like... Wait, hold on. I can't tell people are trolling me now. Wait, hold on. Somebody just said, do you even know where Romania is? And I look it up and I'm like, wait, did I just fuck this up? No, yeah, wait, what? I don't know. China was trolling me right now. Baltics or Balkans? Baltics. Right? The Baltics are Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania, right? Or the Baltics. The Balkans are the whole southern Yugoslavia exploded Serbian shit that's all fucked. Maybe not anymore. I shouldn't say that right now. I'm sorry. I'm pretty sure the Baltics are a decently nice place to be, right? I think those countries are doing pretty well. Nobody talks about them because they're small, but I think that those countries have generally made like quite a bit of progress. They've been pretty peaceful, I think, since 91, right? I think the Baltics have been decently peaceful and everything, and they've like made a lot of progress, like educationally, economically. Even Poland has to some extent, or they were making a lot of progress. I don't know about Romania at all. Ukraine obviously is in a fucking war. The Baltics aren't much better than the Balkans. Is that true? I don't know that history as much, but my understanding is the Baltics have done like pretty well since the collapse of the Soviet Union. They've done like exceedingly well. Then the Balkans have had, I mean, at least one NATO intervention and a lot of problems, but okay, sorry.
And it's to not be a hoe, for example. Whereas in the West, they don't have those societal norms and people act in a certain way. Maybe I'm getting old and boring, but I like to live. When I was last in Miami, which is the best city in America, hands down.
Nice.
Best city in America, hands down.
Miami.
This can't like anyone who talks about New York that they're right. Miami is the best. But
okay. When people say Miami is the best city in America, is that like a huge? I don't want to say self-report. It's not like bad, but is the person basically just saying I really like going to clubs? Is that really all they're saying? Because I don't know why the fuck else you would think that Miami is the best city in America, other than you like clubs and the beach, and maybe bimbo pussy, I guess.
To me, it feels godless.
It is. That's why I
It
love
just feels godless. When I'm in Miami, I'm just like, not New York, Miami. I'm like, this is fun, but it just feels, where's God? God ain't here. This hoe, that hoe. I'm just like, where's God? He forgot about Miami. I don't know. It just feels godless. Like, and maybe I'm getting old and boring, but I like to just see the traditional business run by the family and the hotel run by the family and the women going to church on a Sunday.
Then why the fuck would you say Miami is the best city in in America? What are you talking about then?
And that's what I like about Eastern Europe. Maybe I'm getting old and boring.
So I'll say this. It depends on what you want. Personally speaking, if you want girls, you got a little bit of paper, go to Colombia. Not much to do there, but the girls, the scenery, the food is cheap. And then if you want to have fun,
Does it sound a little bit weird? Is sex tourism always a bad thing? I don't know. I feel a little bit weird when people talk about going to like poorer countries to pick up women. That feels a little strange to me, but I don't know.
you have money, Miami for sure.
All right, so let's carry on with the question. So, yeah, fresh. Let's say money's no object. Let's say we all have hundreds of millions of dollars, whatever. You could live anywhere on the planet. Where would you live and why?
Money is not object. I'm not gonna lie, bro. Probably Colombia. Give me 1,000.
Colombia? Why?
First off, the girls are beautiful. They're at least somewhat feminine. The money goes very far. So, for example, like you could be a G with only like.
What are you saying if you have infinite money, dude?
Year. And honestly speaking, like it's skill because, for example, people that go there have businesses, other Americans. So it's kind of like you have your own community guys that are successful and hot girls. I mean, you can't really lose. So
Mine wants to go to Dubai, right?
I'll go last. I'm producing over here.
Justin, what about you, bro? Where you living?
Man, we were just talking about this in the war room, but to me, man, it matters who's there. So you can go anywhere in the world you want. It could be the best place on earth. If your boys aren't there, bro, it's shit. It's
true.
Number one.
It's true.
Colombia, I've been. I like it. I think you need a plug there, like you need a plug in anywhere else.
George
but
Gammon.
You need a plug. No, you need a plug that's local because Colombia can be very dangerous also. You know, so I would have to say Europe in some regard, probably Eastern Europe somewhere. Based off of my experience, I like Dubai, but it kind of feels like an island. I would not go.
Wait, is this guy American? Or did somebody from Europe just say that my place that I would want to live in would be Europe or Eastern Europe?
To, where is it? Everybody Dominican? Is it
DR, Dominican Republic.
Yeah, but then you get island fever, man. So I would say Eastern Europe somewhere. If you're not going to live in the States and you're not going to live in Miami. That would be my bet. But without your boys, it's shit anyway. I'd rather live in Indiana with my boys than live in the best country on earth with nobody. So that's how I feel about it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think people pretty much know my answer. But yeah, Justin's right. It's a lot about the people you're with. It's about what stage you are in your life. But certainly the people you're with are going to influence your reality. I've been to a lot of places. I've been all around the world. The number one thing people say to me is, Tate, you have so much money. Why don't you travel? The first thing is I do travel. All I do is fucking travel. It's annoying. But the second thing is that the world's the same, man. You either go out to a restaurant or you stay in. You fuck a bitch, you watch TV or sit on the computer. The world's the same pretty much everywhere. So you got things like weather, you got things like the general safety of a place. But then you got to go for the intangibles. I like driving past churches. That's why I live in Romania. I like driving past churches. Sounds stupid, but there's nothing that America has that Romania doesn't have. I can buy a Lambo here. There's a Lamborghini garage. There's fucking clubs. There's bottles. There's Dom P. There's bitches, there's restaurants. Like, what does Miami have that Bucharest does not have?
Not much.
Nothing. It's all the same. It's all here. And this is a poor country, right? It's all here.
People say it's a poor country, but that's a lie.
It's a straight lie.
So false, bro. Like, dude, the clubs are lit here, girls are bad here, and the cars, bro. This Lamborghinis outside, driving up and down, Porsches, everything is like, it's lit, bro.
Yeah, there's a lot of money here.
Yeah,
It's very first world.
Yeah, I don't feel like I'm in a poor country being here at all. I'll tell you guys that. Like coming from Miami, where it's like super bougie, like yeah.
But you guys spent the whole time at the mall, going to all the first world places.
Well, hold on. Where are they at in Romania, though, too, right? Like, that's going to depend on... XQC no showing on his own event? Wait, really?
You didn't even go.
They're in Bucharest. Oh, they're in the capital. Because if they're in, like, the wealthiest parts of that country, I'm willing to bet there's probably a lot of poorer parts of Romania that they never see, right?
I went to actual Bucharest. You've been to the mall 8 times in 4 days.
Well, to be fair, I've been on dates. I've been learning the culture, okay?
Dates at the mall, very adolescent. Take her to a nice restaurant. Take her to go scenery seeing.
I know you know
a church.
We took those girls. Oh, wait, they're waiting in the lobby.
Better than the mall.
L. Okay, go on.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to live in the United States, I think if you live in Florida or Texas, those are fantastic places to start. Because anywhere where
Taxes?
It's not expensive to live and you're not getting taxed to death, you'll be okay. If you're going to pick major cities in these states, I would say, Miami is fantastic. Fort Lauderdale is good. Tampa's good. I don't like Orlando. And if you're going to be in Texas, Dallas and Houston are good. Just a little bit dangerous. South Texas is surprisingly nice too. Like McAllen, people talk shit about the Southwest border, but there's some nice areas there. Phoenix is also good. And Arizona, the only thing that sucks is there is a state income tax. But if you're going to go abroad, I mean, Romania is nice. I can see why the Tates live here. You get a lot of it feels like a first world country, even though it might not necessarily be one like GDP wise. And then,
okay, just a heads up, guys. Any country probably in the world at this point, but especially any country in Europe, if you're in the capital cities, I don't know what you guys are expecting in 2022. They're all going to be first world. Everybody has cars and toilets and internet. It's not going to be like you're in some place where there's villagers are carrying buckets of water to the local inn for settlers to come and rest in before they move further east or something. Everything, most of the world is going to be relatively modernized.
And what else? But for me, I'm going to probably go to an Arab country when this is all said and done to find my virgin wife.
Find the virgin wife. Yeah,
find the virgin wife, man. So, yeah.
Right. So go on. We're going to say?
Next question.
Our next question. So he just said when this is all said and done. So that's going to lead into one of the questions I'm going to ask. So that's perfect. It makes it all together. So why, I want to ask all of you, and you have to tell the truth because the audience are going to tell if you're lying. If they're lying, guys, you have to say they're lying in the chat. Why do you stream? Oh, why do you talk to the world? Why?
I want to wake people up.
Wake people up from what? And why? And then why do you want to wake them
From
up?
their
Why are
brainwashing.
you compelled? Why
Because-
are you motivated to do this?
My whole life philosophy has been based around being brainwashed since I was 6 years old, sitting in a church and not feeling like it was any productive use of time, listening to a priest blab on about life, but he doesn't have any life experience. He's some guy named Peter. You know, he's talking about TV shows. He's never even been with a woman before. How could you tell me anything about life and you haven't had any life experience? Going to school, doing the Pledge of Allegiance, sitting these things, taking Adderall every single day. They prescribed me. They said I had a disability. I felt like everything in my life was to keep me down since I was born. And they told me that there was something wrong with me. And that's motivated me to do everything that I do. No. So the reason I started streaming is direct communication with my audience. I did videos for 9 years, but that was slower. And now I could talk to 10,000 people every single day. I want to go spread the knowledge that I've learned and try to bring people out and teach them the same things that I've learned from being trapped inside the box and being suppressed my whole life.
And why, and that's a good question, I understand completely. Why do you think that? Do you think it gives some validation to yourself to do it? Do you think it's a selfish motivation, or do you think you're like a philanthropist?
There's some selfish, like there's some validation seeking. There's some need to be liked and admired. But the motivation is definitely based in what I said. Because I wouldn't be banned on Twitter and TikTok. I wouldn't be risking this right now. We can get banned just sitting in this room with you. But we're all here because we believe in some sort of message. We have some sort of philosophy. If we want
Where do you stand on the Pledge of Allegiance every day in school? I'm okay with it. I think that the left was too quick to abdicate nationalism, or at least like patriotism. You should love your country. I think a healthy love of country is good. We should like our country. And the idea that like your country is cringe is probably not a healthy idea to have for people that are trying to like make a country work. Yeah, I don't know. I think that we associate like love of country way too much with far right movements, and it's probably good that everybody in a given country loves their country. Otherwise, you're in a really weird spot.
to cash out, we could jump in a pool of 100,000 Orbeez, do some prank videos farting in Walmart.
It's true.
We're here.
It's true. You're right. Good point. Good point. What about you, Fresh? Why are you streaming?
Honestly, bro, honest answer here. I want to inspire. I'll never forget, like when I came to America, I saw a guy in a Lamborghini.
Oh shit. Oh no. Did he actually do it? Still haven't heard from Mexico City manager. He missed his first flight and is supposed to arrive 10 minutes after the show starts. LOL. Oh no. He's not gonna catch the second flight. Oh, Ludwig, why would you agree to this? Well,
I saw hot girls. I saw lifestyle. I was like, how do I get that? And coming from a small island, Barbados, where I'm from, it's like you're not very inspired. Everyone just parties, goes to school, gets a job, and it's like I want more for my life. And seeing other people win made me want to win. So me and Myron did a podcast, Pressure Fit, as you know. He's more fitness style, more lifestyle as well. For fitness, I'm more like, you know what? If I can show people a way to get inspired, even get cars, lifestyle, even getting girls, then it's a W. But personally speaking, of course, I want to make money too as well, giving 1,000. So I say inspiring and money as well.
What about you, Justin?
I like what we do, Andrew. I like the cause. I like guys coming together on a common mission and goals. Previous to joining the War Room, the highest level of happiness I ever had is when I played college football. And to a bigger degree now, I feel like I'm a part of something that a group of guys that have each other's back no matter what are in. And it's about that companionship for me.
Yeah.
There's a common mission we all have together in our group that I'm absolutely in love with. So I die for that. So for me, man, it's feeling like I'm contributing to a team that scores together. So that's what I like.
And I think that that's intrinsic to every single man. I think that that's definitely certainly the reason I do it. I get asked a lot by people like, hey, what's next? Or, what's it like? You have all this money, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to sit here and brag.
They want the
I have enough
influence.
money to live for the rest of my life. And I want to tell all the people out there who are grinding and hustling to get cash, yeah, you need it. But there really isn't that much to buy or do, right? I can give everyone.
I feel like this is more true than most people know. Like when you've hit like this 200 to 250,000 a year like income, like you can travel more and maybe you can have a bigger house. Do you really give a fuck? And then past that, you need like $100 million to have like fucking jets and shit. But I don't really know. There's huge gaps of stuff you can do between like making 20K a year and 50K a year, or 50K a year and 100K a year. And then I think like from 100 to 200 to 300K a year, there are jumps past like 2 or 300K. Like, I don't know if your life is changing that much. Like if you're making 250K a year, like that's awesome. If you're making $1 million a year, I don't think a millionaire guy is buying yachts or private jets. Maybe you can rent trips on them. You can probably do that at 250K if you're saving, if you're budgeting. But like, yeah, I don't know. There's not like, there's a reason I think why you see these guys like Tate come to the streaming world is because like, yeah, having money is cool, but influence is like, that's what everybody really wants. I want to speak and have people listen to me.
Watching this stream, let's say you all had half a billion dollars, 500 million. You do a bunch of hedonistic bullshit. You'd get drunk a bunch, you fuck a bunch of girls, and you buy a bunch of cars, etc. And then you'd either completely fall into the hedonistic trap and go down the gambling and drugs route and destroy your life. But if you keep your brain on and you stay sane, you start to realize that the most valuable things are staying in good shape, your health, looking after yourself, the simple things, spending time with people you love, and hanging with your boys. Hanging with your boys is the #1 most interesting activity that's ever going to exist on the planet ever. It's the funnest thing there is to possibly do, to sit around in the room with your guys and talk shit. And that's what you said earlier about we could be in Indiana, just sitting there.
Fucking it up.
Fucking it up. We can end up broke in the Philippines with $25 in the bank, and we will laugh. And it doesn't matter how much money you have. It's all about the people who are around you. And there's something that's intrinsic to men. We definitely evolved with it. I think it's because we spent so much time either in groups,
I don't think this is
out hunting,
unique to men, but
in armies or gangs or whatever we were doing. You just feel better when you're around people that you know you can trust with your life. And that's certainly the best thing about life. And yeah, I completely understand what you're saying, and I know what you guys are saying. But for me personally, the reason I stream is to try and find the other people out there who I might want to be friends with. Because when you're an exceptional individual, you're never going to meet friends in normal life. It's very rare. I don't know about you guys. I go through life and just meet a friend. Everyone I meet's a fucking idiot. It's crazy, right? So the internet, the best thing that's done for me is allow me to broadcast my message to people and find other people out there with a fucking brain. And there's not that many. But yeah, hanging with your boys is certainly the best thing about life. To this day, with all the money and the shit I can do, that I would rather be sitting in the war room with Tristan and Luke calling each other names than doing nearly anything else. It's the best thing there is to do.
Before Myron answers, can I ask you the question I asked you yesterday?
Sure.
How much do you do this now for money, and how much do you really care about waking people up?
Okay, so I don't need money anymore. Money to me truly has no value. And I say that, and people don't believe me because they understand that every rich person is trying to get more money because it's a game. Yeah, it's like getting a high score. But for me, truly, if someone were to walk in this room and put $25 million cash on this table, I have nothing to buy, and my life would change zero. It doesn't mean anything. I don't need it, right? I like the fact that I can do what I do, and I like the idea of being able to do it forever. But this is not financially motivated for me. It is about expanding my influence. It is about expanding my network. It is about expanding my capabilities. It is about finding the other people out there who think the way I think. It is about having them in an environment where we can speak freely and openly. So to a degree, it's certainly about advancing the mission. I feel like I have a duty to God to speak the truth because I'm in a unique position where I can speak the truth and many can't. I like the idea that I get thousands and thousands of messages from people saying I've helped them with their mental health and helped them with their depression, etc. I like being a positive impact on the world. I like going to sleep with a pure heart and knowing that I'm good for the planet. But truthfully, I think everything you do, no matter what it is, has a selfish motivation. Even if you go and give money to charity today, you're doing it so you feel good.
Facts.
That's why you're doing it. Everything is selfishly motivated. So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm a philanthropist. I feel good when I help people. That's why I do it. It's not just about helping them. It's also because of how I feel. And also when I meet interesting people and I get good friends and powerful individuals join the war room, for example, that benefits me massively. Now my network's expanded. So it's certainly selfishly motivated, but it's not money. And yeah, I think there's inside of every single man, there's definitely a rebel. There's definitely a warrior. It doesn't matter if you were a punk rock rebel in the 70s or you were one of the rebels of Rome who just said, fuck this, let's go burn it. There's something inside of you that's a bit of a rebel. And if you're a red-blooded male and you see the world we live in today and how the Matrix is suppressing us all, you want to rebel. And I think part of it is, yeah, certainly I feel good knowing I'm doing my little bit to piss them off. In fact, I'm not doing a little bit.
Okay, I don't want to make fun of him because I don't know if this is like a thing he has or something. But Myron always looks so fucking intense. Do you ever notice it? Like, look at his face. He always is like so in the fucking zone. Like somebody could break through the door to rob the place, and Myron would have like pulled his gun and shot and killed the person before anybody else in the room even knew what the fuck was going on.
The world we live in today and how the Matrix is suppressing us all, you want to rebel. And I think part of it is, yeah, certainly I feel good knowing I'm doing my little bit to piss them off. In fact, I'm not doing a little bit. I've done a lot. I've done too much. But yeah, that's the answer to the question.
Let me ask you a question. I don't know if you want me to say this on stream, but beforehand, I wasn't supposed to be on this. And I'm wondering how much of that was testing, initiating, and how much of that was the rebel inside of you thinking, fuck it, man, bring him on.
Yeah, I let me give you a very quick example. During the height of, for fuck's sake, the subject we're not supposed to talk about. We weren't supposed to leave our houses, right? So, and we weren't supposed to go driving. We weren't allowed to go out the house and drive. Even here in Romania, you couldn't drive without a piece of paper, a specific piece of paper. And every morning I woke up and just start burning around the city in the Porsche. And Tristan used to go to me, and I used to come back with all these fucking papers, and they tried to impound the car. Cops used to come to the gate, and I'd just get a different car and go out again next day. And Tristan goes, "Why do you keep doing this? It's just headache." I said, I can't just do what I'm supposed to do. They told me what to do, and I can't just do it. I have to not do it, because then when all this insanity goes down and some fucking poor matrix slave misses the funeral of his own fucking parent because he's a dumbass and believes it all, I can know that I tried my best, even though he's an idiot, even though he's a moron, I tried my best to resist the enslavement. It's like living with a pure heart. It's a real thing. Like, all this shit went down, and I can say here now with a pure heart on this stream that I resisted more than 99.9% of people on the planet. I got arrested in Germany. I got fines every day. I broke every single rule. I broke every single law. I had a birthday party in the height of COVID that was all over fucking YouTube. We had fucking 100 people in a hotel. I bribed the mayor off. Like, I did anything it took to break the rules. And that made me feel good about myself. So, yeah, was it really to wake people up and help them to stop them being slaves? Or was it because I had a selfish motivation and I felt good inside of myself knowing I'm not a dumbass? I think we're all semi-selfishly motivated if you're honest.
100%. Myron?
So for me, I'm going to be painfully honest about this, I guess. Before, when I started streaming, as you guys know, I used to work in law enforcement for DHS. I did criminal investigations. And for me, I got a great sense of satisfaction from doing those cases and, doing that job. Damn,
how shitty would it be if you were Sneako and there's a literal fucking Fed in the room, or ex-Fed, and they're cool with him, but you don't trust Sneako? What the fuck?
But then I started my fitness business, and then from there started the YouTube, and I wanted more influence. Let's be honest here. You want clout, you want to bang some hoes. It is what it is, right? And from there, I was like, okay, this is great. And then at some point they pulled me in. They're like, hey, listen, your YouTube, you're talking about some crazy stuff. You know what it may be. You're talking about dating and all this other stuff. Oh my God, men and women are not equal and all this other stuff. Things that we know that are factually correct. They took offense to it, right? I'm talking about biological differences and intersexual dynamics, and they didn't like that. So they kind of put me in a position and said, hey, listen, you can resign, or you can, and keep doing your thing, or you can stay here, but you can't do the YouTube thing anymore. So I made a decision. I took a bet on myself, and I left the G. And, I was like, yeah, I could do this, and, I'm going to make more money, whatever, and get more girls. But it evolved way more to that. As you guys know, I'm a hardcore minimalist. I don't own many things in general. I still drive around in my 2002 Honda. So it started from money and girls. I'm not going to lie to y'all. But then as I've been doing this more and more and, impacting guys' lives and helping them realize yo, I finally have a bigger brother. You're like a father figure to me. Like, you helped me, get into law enforcement. Or you're the one that told me to not do drugs. I thought about doing drugs, and I'm not doing them anymore. I'm staying natural instead of doing steroids. I was going to hurt myself, but off of this girl, but I'm not going to do it anymore. You can't really put a price on that. So it started, right? Just like when you go to the gym, you first go to the gym to get girls and, get jacked and fuck a bunch of bitches. Then you continue to go and you feel good and you get this certain sense of accomplishment, and it gets way more than just a girl. So for me, I started streaming to make more money, get influence. Then as I started streaming, right, and I left my government job, I thought it was the end of the world. I realized, holy shit, we have a duty to these guys to help them out, especially in a crazy ass world where the Matrix is taking over essentially. And a lot of guys are told to pretty much act like women, and it's acceptable. And the reality is you can't act like a woman. It's unacceptable. And if anything, it's going to set you up for failure.
Well said.
Amazing answer. You got any questions from the chat before I ask?
Yeah, oh man, a lot of stuff came in, guys. Sorry, I'm doing a million things at once. And guys, here's the thing: I'm going to kill the Facebook stream right now on Twitch. So come on over to YouTube, and then we're going to kill the YouTube stream coming in very soon as well. And you guys are all going to have to go to Rumble. So I'm going to give you guys a few more minutes to go ahead, but go on over to Rumble, guys. It's rumble.com/Tate Speech, because it's going to be exclusive on Rumble here in a few minutes. But yeah, I can go ahead and pull up one of these questions. Do you want to hit the next one, Andrew, before I pull up the next one?
Let's get the question, because the next one's going to be a long man.
A long one. Okay, so we got
lying. Who was capping the most?
Who's capping the most? And we got almost 20K live on YouTube, and then I think we got another 27K on Rumble. So guys, get ready to switch on over to Rumble here in a little bit.
All-time high.
Yeah, we had a lot of good questions come through, but I didn't want to interrupt the panel. Give me a second here so I can pull a good one up, Andrew.
I got a question for the panel. So, guys on the panel, what is your...
Wait, what? Hold on. Myron, when a gun was pull Olmec on set?
I'm like, you better put that shit back down, because I swear to God, I'll get up real fast. I just don't know why I'm itching. I'm itching. I'll help somebody right now.
Okay.
Move to the left. I said move to the left. Yo, nigga, I said move to the left. Now. All right. Chris, you too, stupid. What the fuck you doing? Move to the left.
This is the right though.
Everybody get to the fucking left. All right. If bullets come down this way, I ain't getting nobody fucking hurt.
Oh, I'm gonna destroy that hoe. She shoot me.
Wait, you say threats?
You're chilling out.
This, did one of these guys like flash a gun or something, or?
Of course.
Okay. I don't miss. Okay.
A girl did. Oh, why? Read title. JJ Academics goes in on a girl. She gets mad and pulls the blicky. Oh, sorry. I didn't know what blicky was. My bad.
Single mothers, we don't do that.
I'm gonna just say that. I wanna see live. Nigga, watch out my way.
Real women
Nigga, we in Florida.
do not do that.
Yes, sir.
Like,
I don't know what
Nikki,
shorty was
choose
reaching
me.
for in her back with a spark or dumbass in here and got a pack off her. Fuck that. Shorty,
Yeah, she wild. She could have got dealt. She could have got dealt with for real, but she could have got dealt with for real.
I don't know why y'all.
But why she chose?
Nah, cause
why
real
she chose
niggas act, bro. You got shit to lose, bro. Chill out, bro.
We supposed to swing on.
Yeah, but still, nigga, I don't want to see you in a situation like that, bro. I won't do it. Let me handle some like that, bro.
Once I saw her grab that mic a certain way, I'm like, you better put that shit back down because I swear to God, I'll get up real fast.
Wait, who pulled the blicky? When?
I'm itching. I'll help somebody right now.
Move to the left.
Okay.
Move to the left. I said.
This is getting crazy.
Stop. Look at you and said, "Oh, you want some wine? I will."
That's what I'm saying.
I will beat you.
Maybe it happened on the couch. He pulled it off screen. Oh, okay. I don't know, whatever. Okay.
Description of a moneymaker for 2022. Something you can consider, like, you know what? If you're young coming up in life, what can you do to make money right now?
That's a good question. I can answer. Do you want, should I go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
Right. I think that we live in an attention economy. I think that people who can garner attention are going to be good at making money one way or another. I think we now live in a world where you have spectators and you have people who produce. The world is split in a binary divide between the two. And not everybody is designed to be a producer. Some people are designed to be a spectator. Obviously I am a producer naturally by heart because I've lived a very diverse life. I have a lot to say and I consider, it doesn't matter what I consider. People consider my words valuable, obviously. So here I am. But if I was a spectator, let's say, and I didn't feel like I had the confidence or the knowledge or the charisma to sit on a camera and interest people, then I would try my very best to prove myself useful to a creator. And by joining their ecosystem and working alongside them, that's probably the best and easiest way to make money. There's a whole bunch of people out there that have the star factor, but they don't have the systems and the teams around them to truly be successful. So I would come along and say, listen, you can be the showman. I'll be the blood and guts underneath, and we can do very, very well. I truly still believe, as fucked as the world is with the Matrix and the suppression and the inflation and the Fed and all the shit we talk about, if you're a person who can turn up on time with a firm handshake, who is genuinely competent, who doesn't lie to anybody, you're going to be fine.
That's a Destiny take. Yo, I'll vibe off that 1,000,000%. The one thing that you can always do in life, you can be the most worthless, retarded, crippled, fucked dude, like ADHD, whatever the fuck, every problem. If you can be a guy that always shows up 5 minutes early and you are dependable, you're reliable, you're like, get shit done like in a timely manner, and you're communicative, you are so far ahead of so many people. I've said this so many times. You can ask Cake, you can ask Jader, you can ask Mr. Moot, you can ask Dan. There have been a lot of premium talent people that I've worked with. And then there have been like middling talent people. And if you can respond to an email within 24 to 48 hours, if you can deliver on a deadline, if you can communicate really well, you are so much better to work with than like the struggling schizophrenic artist who's like an amazing artist, but they're not reliable. They don't communicate. They'll go months without returning an email that you can't keep track of at all. Like being a person that's just like 5 minutes early everywhere and is ruthlessly dependable is so fucking good. That is such a good skill to have. Holy shit.
Never going to starve. You're always going to be able to make good money if you're a genuinely honest, hardworking person.
Yep.
I've never met a honest, hardworking person who will be there at 9 a.m. like you asked him to be, who completely fails at life.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people who are still out here failing, they have a bunch of excuses. And yeah, we talk about how hard it is, and it's true. But if you're genuinely about it and you can find somebody with that star factor and align yourself to them, I think you could make money no matter who you are. That's, I think, the best way to make money.
So basically, be a YouTuber.
It's not about being a YouTuber. It's not. It hasn't even got to be a YouTuber. It can be anything. It can be a. You can find a fucking star salesman and find a way to help his ass. I'm saying you don't always have to be the star. The biggest mistake a lot of people make is, and especially in the Western world, because I talk about this all the time. I was speaking about this with somebody else. I was saying America's strength and its weakness is the same thing. America's strength is that everybody is taught they're so unique and special and valuable.
And then when you get those unique and special people, they rise to the top because they're really pushing at it from the start. But there's a lot of misery created out of people that think they're special and unique and ultra talented, but they're not really, right?
And that's why you guys do so, but this is why America does so fantastic in, let's say, the Olympics, right? Because everyone believes that they can be a sports star and everyone works so hard, etc. This is why you have so many talented people, so many creatives, so many movie directors, etc. Because everyone's told they're fantastic. But the truth is, not everybody's fantastic. And the people who are not fantastic end up frustrated. And that's why you have so much fucking crime, rob a bank, get rich or die trying, gangsters, gangbangers. Because there's a whole bunch of people in America who think they're too good for a job, and they are really not too good for a fucking job.
This is the Kevin Samuels take too. And I think Kevin Samuels did a good job at, from the little that I've seen of him, from checking everybody from having unrealistic expectations. Most of his content seemed to be shitting on women, but he'd shit on men too. He would attack men that thought that they were looking, that he thought were looking for way more than what they actually should, who were kind of bums, who, you know, you're trying to find a 22-year-old supermodel and you're like a 27 dude working at 7-Eleven. Like, you need to be more realistic about your expectations. And I think Kevin Samuels was good, and that he told women that were of a certain class to like respect the guy that you're with too. Like, you can have a guy that's earning 40, 50,000 a year. He could be a great guy, great for you, great everything. Like, they don't everybody doesn't have to be like the fucking leader, the champion, the 7 million sub YouTuber or whatever, right? Yeah.
That's the truth. Whereas if you look at other cultures, it's the difference, right? If you go to Asia or you go to some of these other places, you'll go to school. The very talented kids will be taken to the side. You're the top 1%. You're going to a separate class. And if you're not put in that separate class, you know you ain't shit. You're just like, okay, I'm working in the factory. Yes, sir. That's my job. And you're just going to do your job because the ego ain't there. So the ego is a fantastic thing for America, but it's also a detriment. So it can play both ways. But
I think if you know the value that you bring to the world, you understand what you bring, then you could kind of put yourself in a position to win, because we're not all going to be, like you said, leaders. Some people are followers. So.
But this is my point. When everyone has an ego, everyone wants to be the king on the chessboard.
Yeah.
You don't win.
I feel like when I was talking to Sneako, didn't I actually use the exact phrase, like, too many chiefs and not enough Indians? Probably because society works better when you've got a lot of followers and just a few leaders. If you've got a society full of people
right?
Yeah, if you got a society full of everybody wants to be a leader, too many chiefs, not enough Indians is a saying, right? Then like society would probably fall into fucking disarray. Everything would be fucked, would be my guess. Like, there's a name for this. Like, it's a well-observed thing where everybody thinks they want to be a leader and everybody wants to blah, blah, blah.
The chess game by having endless kings, that just gives you a bunch of vulnerabilities. Everyone has to know their role and play it. I've played the role of fucking pawn, knight, my whole life. I was pawn, knight, bishop, rook. You know, I played them all.
But you always wanted to be the king.
It's not that I wanted to be. It's that if you're truly destined to be, you'll end up in a position where you're going to be.
This also kind of aligns with kind of my virtue take, where I think like the where I'm at right now in life is that like basically different people are good at different things. And I think you kind of owe it to yourself and the world to pursue what it is you're best at. Not everybody is like cut out to be like a Hollywood entertainer, or not everybody is cut out to be like a leader of a multi-million-dollar, but there's like nothing wrong with that. And that doesn't have to be, it's not like if you weren't one of those people that your life sucks. Like, I think there's plenty of people living lives earning 40, 50, 60,000 a year that are living like tremendously awesome, wonderful lives. Like, that's super possible. The idea that you have to be like one of these like leader people is just not true, I don't think.
Seen as a king of your empire, wherever your empire is or whatever it is. God has a plan for all of us. My plan was to do my job to the best of my ability, whatever my job was at the time. People call me arrogant, etc., etc. I spent fucking 11 years obeying my coach like he was God. Run here. Okay, 7 miles, 4 a.m. Oh, fuck. All right. I just listened. I didn't get successful by running my mouth. I didn't get successful by knowing everything. I got successful by listening. I listened.
Somebody else, I got a lot of emails after that convo too, and I should have been pointing out more things. I didn't even think about it, but like I got a lot of emails for like, bro, like 90% of CEOs have college degrees. And then also, what do successful people do? I think I count as a successful person. Like, I told my kid, like, Nathan is going to college and you're getting a degree before you ever hop into YouTube shit. Most likely. You're going to, like, I'm not going to let him just like, oh, I'm out of high school, time to do this shit. Fuck you. You go to college, get a degree. And I think if you look at most successful people, what are they trying to do? Like, what do successful people do? They're literally known for like trying to scam schools to get their fucking kids to get into the best schools, right? What was that whole thing where they're like paying off like school administrators to like they're trying so hard. Like wealthy people will cheat to get their kids into the best fucking schools. Like that's how fucking important it is for them. So the idea that like oh no, like wealthy people know that school is a waste of time. Like haven't you heard of these two exceptional people? It's like, well, Musk got degrees, fucking Bezos got degrees, Bill Gates was super smart before he even went into college. He was working on shit. Zuckerberg got degrees. Like 99% of these like super billionaire people are all really well-educated people. It's very, 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 very rare that somebody comes out of nothing and becomes like a billionaire. That is exceptionally rare. Most of these people are really well-educated. Fucking Donald Trump! I'm pretty sure. Wait, let's check. I don't actually know. Donald Trump Wikipedia. I know this motherfucker graduated from some bullshit. Trump family? Must have. This motherfucker skipped the draft to finish school, okay? Did he finish? Hold on. Oh, look, even Donald Trump got his 4-year degree at Wharton School of the University of Pennsylvania. And this guy came from money and had a dad that gave him money, okay? And even this motherfucker finished his 4-year degree, okay?
To my father my entire life. I listened to my coach my entire life. I just done exactly as I was told. He said punch, he said jab, I jabbed. That was it. So I just obeyed. So I played my part and played my role for a very long time before I got to a position now where I have, I don't know, a total of maybe 60, 70 people working for me across all these different industries.
Damn, that's
now I'm the
insane.
king of the empire, blah, blah, blah. But you're saying I always knew I wanted to be king. I don't think I did. I just wanted to be very, very competent and do my job very, very well.
And this is where
even
it led
now
him.
to this day, if Elon Musk and I were to have a conversation one day and he would say, I want you to help me with X, I'm not going to walk in there saying, I'm the king though, bro, top G. I'm like, you know what, Mr. Elon, sure. I'll be the knight. Let's go to fucking Mars. There's too much ego involved. Yeah. And this is the problem with a lot of people. Egos hold them back. Ego's going to get your ass killed. Ego will put you in the fucking morgue. It'll put you in jail. And it'll also destroy a lot of opportunities. I can tell you another story. I have a whole bunch of friends who are still broke, even though they've watched my come up and I've tried to help them a million times and they'll message like, hey man, just had to leave my job again. And they're trying to hint at borrowing money. I'm like, why? What happened? Man, my boss, he's fucking rude to me. Bro, you're a wagey and he's your boss.
Do your job.
What the fuck? Do your job. Like, you can't be messaging me saying, oh yeah, you're top G, I'm a G, I don't take shit from my boss. Well, you have to till you're the boss. That's the game. You have to know your part and play it well.
How much of it is determined by God? You're saying, I'm wondering what you think of the difference between free will and determinism. You're saying that some people are meant to just be pawns, but how much of it is dependent on your mentality and your belief as a youngin?
People decide to be pawns. Nobody is destined to be anything they don't decide themselves to be.
I hate that people are like whatever, it's all good. But people on my subreddit were triggering me. They're like, oh, he said it so much more eloquently than Destiny did. Like, well, yeah, he did, but that's because every 3 words I would try to speak, Sneako would jump down my fucking throat, saying essentially the same shit. I couldn't get fucking anything out without Sneako screaming down my throat over it. Like, Jesus.
If you're truly uncomfortable with something, you can't exist there. When I was a pawn, I did my job to the best of my ability, but let's change it. When I was a brokey, I knew I was a brokey. Trust me, I knew very well I was a brokey. My life reflected it, as did my bank balance. But I was uncomfortable in it to a position where I couldn't sleep at night. I had sleepless nights just laying there thinking, how the fuck are people buying Ferraris? I can't pay rent. This doesn't make sense. I have to escape. I can't live this way. If you're genuinely uncomfortable, if I set you on fire, you're going to stand up. You're going to move. If I set you on fire and you're chilling, then you can't say that the fire's burning. The people who are broke, and they have been broke for years and years and years, and they're still sleeping in late playing video games, are comfortable enough being broke to stay broke. I couldn't be comfortable in that position. If you put me in a shitty position, I'm so desperately uncomfortable. We can change it from money to something else.
Dude, what is
If
this?
I was morbidly obese, it wouldn't last long. I'm telling you now. With me, I couldn't do it. I couldn't look at myself in the mirror. I'd be mad at myself. I'd be angry. I'd be self-conscious. I'd fix it. The person who's been morbidly obese for 10 years and goes, I'm trying. You ain't fucking trying. You are very comfortable and very happy to be who you are.
Facts.
So anybody who's a pawn is comfortable and happy being a pawn. Otherwise, they wouldn't be one anymore. They'd at least have moved up. So when I say determined by God, what I'm saying is that God is producing all of us. I believe God exists. We're all made in his image to a degree. And certain people have looked at their place in life and said, this is okay. This is enough for me to sleep at night. And if that's fine, you're going to sleep. But if you were like me, if you're looking at your bitch going, she's a 7, my car ain't shit, apartment's small, I know I'm better than this, I have to find a way to escape, then motivation and the whole idea of motivation becomes it gets destroyed. People say I don't have motivation. I never had motivation. I had a burning desire to fucking fix my life. I didn't need to wake up and get I didn't have to watch YouTube to want to make some fucking money. I was like, I wanted money. Like, I didn't need YouTube to tell me, bro, you're broke. Like, so I don't think that anybody is destined to be a pawn. I think people decide to be pawns. And I'll give you an example of it. I can sit here right now as a multimillionaire, a person who has hundreds of millions of dollars. And I can say, if you go to CobraTate.com right now, you can sign up to a free newsletter, and I will email you every day for free lessons from a multimillionaire for free. All it's going to take is 13 seconds of your time to go to CobraTate.com and sign up to the email letter. And maybe 10% of the people watching will do it. And 90% will go, hey man, being broke sucks. Because they're fucking dumbasses. Well, that's their decision. I believe it's decisions. People who are broke decided to be broke. It really is not that difficult to make money out here. I really don't think it is.
What is the
Justin,
biggest?
What about you? One thing you can make money from this year? Somebody coming up.
Man, there's a million ways to make $1 million. I think you have to pick something, put your time in, get competent at it, stay in the fight long enough to make the fucking money. There's no one way to make $1 million. In regards to what Andrew's saying, especially about the guys that are superstars or they're not, look at me, dude. I'm a multimillionaire too, but I got no problem. In fact, me and Andrew had a conversation about this maybe 6 months or a year ago. I'm like, Andrew, you can be Michael Jordan. I'll play Scottie Pippen.
Facts all day.
I'm trying to win fucking trophies, bro. And there's nothing better in this world than to do shit with your boys. So if you got somebody in your group that is Michael Jordan, let them be fucking Michael Jordan. I'm not insecure about that.
And when
you know
have,
what I'm saying?
And when you have a diverse group, when you have a group of true competent people, you'll realize that it changes role to role anyway. There are certain scenarios where it's X guy's the fucking G, and there's an X guy, he's the G. That's how it goes. When it comes to boozing, it's like, Tristan, bro, bro, you win. Like that's just the way it is. That's what happens when you're around genuine competence.
What's the biggest deciding factor, Andrew, that separates you from the 90%, the retards, the people who don't want it? Why do you make the decision to go and get it, but most people don't? What's the biggest? Is it the way you grew up? Is it the fighting? Is it being broke?
That's a good question, and that actually leads into my other question fantastically, which is amazing. I was raised for competence, and I was raised for excellence. So to a degree, I can say that I'm lucky by the fact that I had such fantastic parents, and that they told me from a very, very young age who I had to be and how I had to live. I hear a lot of things from people saying, you know, if your father's too amazing and he can overshadow you and it makes the kid fail, I can't speak to that because I had the complete opposite experience. My father was my hero. I wanted to be exactly like him. And all I had to do was copy him and do as I was told. And I was going to be fantastic. I learned how to listen at a very young age. I learned how to obey my elders, do as I was told, eat my vegetables. My life has never truly fucked up. There's a lot of successful people who will tell you like, yeah, my life fucked up and then I recovered. I went to jail. I got out, all this shit. My life's never fucked up. My life has always been wake up, do the fucking work. That's all it's ever been. And if you wake up and do the fucking work every single day, I'm 36 years old. How can I not have hundreds of millions of dollars? All I've done is work. All I've done is get up and do what I'm supposed to do. All I've done is get up, eat right, train, work, answer the call, be on time. Like, how am I going to not have hundreds of millions of dollars? It's almost like I don't understand how you messed that up. It's because people are just lazy. So, but that feeds into my other question I want to ask all of you. How big of an impact do you think family has on a man? Because I think we're speaking majorly to men. And what advice would you give to men who love their family and they know their family love them, but their family
holds them back?
Their family are not living the lives they want to live.
Oh.
The advice they're giving is not the advice they want to follow.
Close enough.
Like, do you have any stories or do you have any advice or what kind of impact do you think a negative family environment can have on a man? And what should he do in a scenario when his parents truly love him and truly care for him, but they're telling him to like put on a mask and go to college? What do you think?
That was me.
We'll start.
Oh, so there you go. So we have an interesting story coming up.
My dad has recently been telling me since I've been getting into the red pill and getting to these ideas and fully devoting myself to this message that now he agrees with a lot of what I say. And he's blue pilled. We can't talk about a lot of the things, but he did what 85% of the population did. Yeah. He went to college, told me to go to college, told all my siblings to go to college, but ultimately he did give up on his dream. His dream was to be a filmmaker, was to be a creative, and he decided to fully devote himself to his family. And for me, that gave me the opportunity to fully focus on what I wanted to do because we came up in a good household.
Yeah.
He was there. He was a good inspiration. He was a good role model, just like your dad. Yeah. But I had to separate from a lot. I disappointed him in a lot of ways. Dropping out of school, dropping out of college, they didn't talk to me for a long time. Mm-hmm. Not taking what everybody else was taking, they were really upset with me. I'm sure a lot of people in the chat can relate. They ended up taking something that everybody else is saying that you're a bad person. You're going to kill my grandma if you don't take this too. Yeah. So I think you just have to decide for yourself what's the best for yourself and make the sacrifice that you're.
I like how vaccines get rolled into like everything these days. Like, okay.
What about you, Walter?
So I had two examples in my life. Robert, because I guess it talks about rich dad, poor dad. So I have my real dad, which is basically a deadbeat dad, but you know, that's my dad. And I have my granddad. And growing up, I was supposed to follow the family blueprint, which is go to school, get a degree, to go to family business. But I saw my dad and I was like, damn, like he's pretty much just like living life, doing whatever he wants, but he's not responsible. But my granddad was like an anchor. He was like the one taking care of the family, took us on trips. You know, he bought me a car, bought my mom a house. It's like, damn, he's the man of the household. So I had to make a choice. Who do I want to follow? My dad or my granddad? And I chose my granddad because for me personally, my dad would say, hey, son, I'll come pick you up. And he never would show up. My granddad would say, hey, son, I'll come pick you up. He'd always show up on time. So me personally is making a choice to say, you know what? Who do I want to be like more? My granddad or my dad? And I chose my granddad. So for me, it's just making a choice.
I think all of us have that voice in our head that tells us what we're supposed to be doing. If you know you're supposed to be great, that voice in you is going to tell you that. You can choose to listen to it, or you can choose to let the weaker voice inside of you suppress what you know you are meant to be. So as long as you listen to the voice that tells you that you're supposed to be great and you're supposed to be doing things that are bigger and better than what your family is doing, I think you're okay. Now you have to be strong enough to fight the suppression that's going to come towards you from your family. But once you decide to do that, everybody will say that it's dangerous until you've made it. Case in point, Sneako. You know, your dad said no, 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 and then you built the following, and then he's like, okay, I see it. Same thing with my dad. My dad was always, son, don't you think that's enough? Don't you think that's enough? No, no, no. Now he's like, son, I've never seen anybody work as hard as you. And he truly respects me. So a lot of times people don't believe in you until you finally arrived. So I think that's something very important to remember. And in addition to that, I always say that suppression is wrapped in love. So a lot of times if people are uncomfortable with the things that you're doing, just remember that you are directly intimidating them by the actions that you took in spite of their inactions. Mm-hmm. So just remember that.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I get this all the time. People message me saying, hey, my family's not supportive of what I want to do. And my family don't believe I should try and do this, or my family thinks I should go down this route. And my answer has been pretty generic so far, but it seems to be effective. I think the number one thing that especially parents are worried about when they see their children is they don't like the idea of seeing them be lazy. So I had people message me, go, I don't want to go to college. My parents want me to go to college. I say, well, have you sat down with your parents and explained to them what you're going to do with all those years instead? Have you sat there and said, look, I'm not going to go to college?
True. This obsession with not going to college. I say this to everybody that says this. If you have to ask, should I go to college? The answer is always yes. And what he's saying is very true. When parents are like, you know, if you're working on a whole bunch of fucking shit and your parents are like, why don't you go to college? And you're like, I don't have time to go to college. I'm doing this, and this. It's like, okay, that's fair. I think, now I don't know if every parent would be okay with that, but they'd be more okay with that than you just be like, oh, I don't know. I don't think college is for me. Because that just sounds lazy, right? It sounds like you don't have a plan or you're not going to do anything. Instead, you're just going to waste the years.
6 hours a day doing this, 2 hours a day doing this, 1 hour a day in the gym. Across next year, I'll be doing this apprenticeship. I'll get this certification. I'll be able to go here and do this. I'm going to get this passport. I'm going to go here. Or if you just said, I don't want to go to college and turn the TV back on.
Yeah.
Well, then why do you think they want you to go to college, right? It doesn't matter what you do. I think if you're a child and you explain to your parents or all the people who love you or the people around you are trying to push you in a certain direction to say, look, I have a plan. This is what it is. I have a finite amount of time on the planet. I'm going to dedicate it towards X. I'm going to make sure this is successful. I'm going to do it right. And you show competence and you show that you genuinely give a shit and you're up before them and go to sleep after them. They're not going to hate on anything you do. I think a lot of the people are saying, oh, my parents are trying to suppress me. No, what your parents are trying to do is inspire you to do something. You're lazy. You ain't doing shit.
Sorry.
And I completely understand that.
True,
if you have a fucking teenage son sitting around smoking weed, you want to send his ass to college. Like, what else is he going to let him do? Sit there and smoke weed? If you were genuinely up grinding, even if you weren't making money, if you were in the gym every day and you were a bodybuilder and you looked like a tank, they'd still be a bit like, all right, he's doing something. I mean, like, at least he ain't just sitting around, right? So I think that's the biggest thing. When your family, you nailed it with the suppression love. When your family are trying to hold you back, what they're trying to do is make you do something because they think you're doing nothing. Because if you were doing enough, they wouldn't really be so concerned with what you were doing at all. It's about output more than what you're putting your output into. It's just about doing something, existing in the world.
And to add to your point, Andrew, so for example, even myself, like my mom would say, "Don't go to America. It's dangerous. Don't go over there. You might end up dead." And I was like, you know what, Mom? My granddad did the same thing. He left Barbados, came to America.
Okay, people keep making fun of Sneako for not saying anything, okay? Keep in mind, too, that, like, Sneako is at a table with people that are all, like, really far ahead of him in terms of, like, stages of life, right? So, of course, like, these guys are going to have more to say on these particular topics. Like, I wouldn't really expect Sneako to be able to contribute much at a table where everybody else has, like, kind of already made it or is, like, well into their journey. Well, he's still kind of figuring shit out, right? Like, everybody here is at least 5 years, if not 10 years older than him, right? I don't know how old, like, Walter is or Myron or anything, but...
I'm getting successful.
Like, it would be super cringe for him to try to argue over all these people, I think.
3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Faster. 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, shit. Okay, here we go. Back in. All right. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Not bad, not bad.
Why does he shit talk you then? Oh, probably because he doesn't respect me because I'm from a totally different ideological background. He like idolizes these guys, right? But he has no respect for me.
Cool. Yeah. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna leave school. I'm sorry to say, I love you, but I don't want to follow. I don't want to follow the family path. I want to do what my granddad did. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna sell my bike, sell my truck, and move it to America. She's like, don't go, son. It's dangerous. I can't have you going there. I said, look, I love you, Mom. Here's my plan. I'm coming to America. I'm gonna retire you and be successful. That's it. And I did it. So me having that talk to her made her feel a little bit comfortable, but like still, she's like, you know what? Don't go, it's dangerous, and you gotta make a choice, man. Yeah. So.
All right, so before I give my answer, I'm going to go ahead and kill the YouTube stream. So, guys, I need you guys to go over to Rumble right now, rumble.com/TateSpeech, okay, guys? So you can go ahead and get the rest of this stream and support Andrew, man. Like, yo, the Matrix is trying to attack him. We gotta show the support, man.
Thanks,
support the top G.
Guys,
so
I appreciate it.
I'm going to kill the YouTube stream right now, guys. So I'm going to give you guys a second. Rumble.com/TateSpeech. Again, it's rumble.com/TateSpeech, and we're going to go ahead and continue. Yeah, you know what? Let me go ahead and well, hold on. Let me refresh this thing real fast before I do it. And this has been a fire stream, by the way. We got almost 20,000 y'all in here. So
Sneako, Justin, Andrew, and also
this is it right here, guys. I'm gonna share the screen with y'all real fast. And I know I'm doing the producing thing over here.
Producer, all the best shows.
Yeah, so come on over, guys, to what the hell? Okay, hold on. I got it right now. It's giving me a little bit of a hard time here. So it's Chrome tab, bam, this one right here. There we go. All right, so let me share for y'all real fast.
Does it bother you when you agree with Tate? No, why would it bother me? If somebody says something correct, of course I'm going to agree with it. What do you mean?
Can y'all see that? Yeah, you guys should be able to see that right now. Yeah. This is us right now on Rumble, guys. So come on over. It's rumble.com/TateSpeech. Okay, guys, so I'm going to go ahead and kill the YouTube stream right now. We love y'all on YouTube, but come on over, okay? There's 17,000 plus you guys in here on YouTube alone.
Guys,
go on over to rumble.com/TateSpeech to support the top G, and I'll tell you guys.
Rip. See you later.